Welcome to the Berea Podcast. This is Troy.
And this is Della.
We are at First Christian Church's Christmas Festival. Inside the fellowship hall, there are 1, 2, 8, 9, 10 or so booths of families in the church that are talking about Christmas traditions. There's a family that collects nativity scenes, and they range from like corn shuck dolls to holly, made like handcrafted, made from holly that are expensive things. You can hear the music in the background, someone's music collection that's not a record player, but like a harpsichord kind of thing that's pretty fancy. In the background, there are crafts making that like families are sharing how they decorate their cookies and other crafts. What do you see, Della?
Well, I've participated in Robin Moreland's new tradition, where she says at her work there are tons of pine cones, so she has brought those, and you can put glue on those and then sprinkle cinnamon and glitter on them, and they have a lovely scent wafting throughout your house around the Christmas time, and they look lovely. So I made one of those. That was super fun.
Oh, wow.
Right, and then I think then there's decorating gingerbread cookies. That was super nice.
Gotcha.
And then there's also sugar cookie decoration.
Good deal. There's going to be some concerts in just a little bit too, I believe. So this is going to be exciting. We're going to be here for a little bit of time recording it, and it'll be over on Facebook in just a little bit. So go to First Christian Church, and then it's Berea. That's the Facebook feed of the church. Enjoy seeing some of the things live here. We're sitting in a back corner. Anything else you want to add before we jump right into it, Della?
Happy holidays.
Here we go.
Merry Christmas.
Both?
Both.
Alrighty.
We do celebrate Christmas. Others may just celebrate the holidays.
Alrighty, here we go. Welcome to the First Christian Church Christmas festivities. Tell us your name and a memory that you have.
My name is Stephen Hammond.
Okay.
And I have wonderful memories of my mother when we were small kids.
All right.
Putting apples and oranges in our stockings.
So you did that yourself?
No, she done that.
Okay.
And I remember we didn't have a whole lot. We were raised really poor and stuff. But from that time, I remembered who Santa Claus really was.
Really?
My mother.
Oh, yeah.
It wasn't the big Santa Claus with all the toys. It was
Gotcha.
my mom.
And it was the apples and the oranges in the stockings.
That's all we got most of the time.
And that's what you woke up to on Christmas Day?
Right.
But other than Christmas Day, when did you have an orange? And when did you have apples?
Every now and then we have.
Oh, but it was a special day.
It was a special treat to get anything like that.
Wow. And did you have the mantle and like the stockings and all that?
Let's hang on our bed on the top of the rail.
Oh, yeah,
We had the old time brass bed.
Okay,
We
yeah.
hang a sock there, not a regular stocking, but a sock. And she would come along, and I caught her putting one in there or two in there. And I said, well, that's who Santa Claus really is my mom.
Oh, now what age did that happen when you saw her?
I was probably 6 or 7 years old.
Oh, yeah.
I still have that memory in my mind.
Wow.
Wonderful memory.
Gotcha. So this year, 2018, what are you going to do for Christmas?
Jenny and I are just going to celebrate Christmas at home, I guess. And enjoy our little dog, Sydney.
Oh, yeah.
We don't have a family, so
Dog.
children, so we're just going to enjoy our own little family.
Are you one of the families that buy presents for the pet?
Yes.
Okay. So what are you getting your dog for Christmas
So
this
we got
year?
a raccoon, little stuffed raccoon, and another little round type of toy that you squeeze it and it makes a farty noise. She's going to like that.
Okay. And are you going to wait for Christmas morning to open it? That's so funny.
Yeah.
And is it wrapped under the tree?
No.
Okay, good. I was going to be impressed. Wow. You take it seriously, huh?
Yeah, she's a special dog for sure.
What kind is she?
She's a little lab mix.
Where'd you get her?
We got her at a pet store.
Where? In Lexington?
In Berea.
Oh, here in Berea? Okay.
Yeah, I just walked in there. I wasn't expecting to buy a dog, and I looked up and there she was, with little eyes looking down at me, and I reached and got her and put her on my hip.
And just showed up at home with the dog?
I call her my Visa dog. I bought her with my Visa credit card.
Okay.
So I call her my Visa dog.
That's
I
great.
wasn't expecting to buy anything.
I've never heard of putting a dog on a Visa card that you didn't know you were going to go when you came in. That's pretty funny. Alrighty, well, thanks so much for talking to us. Get us someone else, okay?
Well, thanks for having me.
Okay, introduce yourself, please, and tell us a Christmas memory you have.
My name is Kyle Sowers, and we're here at First Christian. And speaking of Christmas, memories will flood you at this time of year with things that went on. Special Christmas memory for me that is, was a family related.
Gotcha. Set the time. How far back are we going?
We're going back in the late 60s, 1970.
All right.
My brothers are both younger than me.
Okay.
One is 8 years younger and one is 13 years younger. So at this particular time, I was of age to where I would help Mom with the overnight
Oh, okay. Wow.
duties of getting things out and getting it ready for Sunday morning.
Well, wait, though. I have two things from that. One, that got you out of getting gifts? Is that the way it worked?
Maybe not. Maybe it did.
I know. This is not therapy.
Maybe it did.
I know.
But it was just to be of help to her, because if Dad was sleeping and snoring, then I would get up and help.
Okay.
But we were so quiet. We were so intent on it. And I thought, I'm doing good on this. And because you got to watch the creaks in the floor and the door, and just, you don't want to be loud in the house at maybe 3 or 4 a.m. Okay?
Gotcha.
So we go outside, because the things we were going to be picking up at that moment were inside the trunk of the car.
All right.
So I walked real easy outside. I don't think there was any snow, but it was winter time,
All right.
of course, and rain or something. But as we went outside, I let the storm door lightly back, to everything quiet. We were doing so good. I got the key to the trunk, and that little click it makes, it didn't make it quite as loud. I thought,
Okay.
right. Raised up that hood of the trunk. All right, things are great. So no real noise, and because there's a bedroom, corner bedroom near us where the carport and car is parked.
All right.
And so we're getting the boxes and bags and things out, and it's one of those where it's like, boy, we did great, and I just slammed the trunk. I just slammed the trunk. Mom goes, what did you do? So we got through that, but that was one of the funniest things, because I didn't quite finish the job.
And no doubt it was one of those big trunks that weighed as much as you did.
Oh, yeah. Well, the cars back then. Sure,
Yeah.
Oldsmobile. So,
Okay.
You could have hidden several things in that trunk. It's a big
Sure.
old trunk, a big old car. So. But that was always something she would, for a long time, would tell about. She would tell people, we're doing so good. Wham! And slam it.
That's pretty great. Now you said though that Sunday you put it out on Sunday. Is there anything particular with that? Because the 25th rolls.
Oh no! I'm sorry. It was maybe it was a Saturday night, but
that particular.
Oh yeah, no,
Sunday. Okay.
Christmas Eve. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to mislead you there.
No.
Getting ready for the next day.
Gotcha.
Yeah, the 25th, and because we would have that night was a big night, and all kinds of food and everything, and whatever was under the tree, we opened that, but then Santa's gifts were next morning.
Okay.
So I slammed the trunk on those.
Did the kids, realize it?
No, that was the best thing. I mean, we kind of waited a little while and then asked, no, so nobody heard anything. And my dad didn't. He was still asleep.
Well, the sound of a car trunk is a lot like a sleigh on the roof.
Yeah.
So
Oh, yeah.
you could have covered that.
I've heard that in the Santa Claus movie with Tim Allen. You know, when they land on the roof. What is that? You know, so that's similar, yeah. Maybe not as many hooves hitting the roof or something, but that trunk made a good little sound.
Very specific.
Especially to us, because we thought, oh, we're nailed. Oh, we're caught. Oh, gosh, what are we going to do?
In the quiet of the 2 o'clock in the morning.
Yeah. Very quiet. So.
All right.
We might have had a different way the next year to do it.
You would think ahead. Let's not hide them in the trunk, or don't let Kyle help.
Help give him an abbreviated job or something. Yeah.
This guy's a ham.
Oh. All right. Well, thanks so much, Kyle.
All righty.
All right. Lily, I'm going to ask you about a special Christmas memory. Okay? Take that and hold it like right at the bottom of your chin, okay? Very good. So please introduce yourself, just your first name.
Lillian.
All righty. Wow, how fancy. Tell me about a special Christmas memory that you have. You have no Christmas memories?
Maybe baking cookies with my mom.
Oh, wow. Now, what kind of cookies?
Sugar cookies.
Nice. Sugar cookies are really nice. You do that every year as much as you can?
Yep.
Wow. What toppings do you put on them?
Sugar. And
Sugar on top of sugar cookies?
Candies. And stuff.
Oh, nice.
Icing.
Nice. Every year. What has been your favorite present that you've received in your young life?
I have so many.
You so many wonderful. We'll list 3. Do a top 3. A lump of coal?
No.
Okay. Have you got a doll before?
Yeah.
What? Tell me about that doll that you remember.
It was Rapunzel.
Oh, from the movie Tangled. Okay.
Lots of puzzles.
Nice.
I get one every year.
Oh, that's a tradition.
And I like coloring books a lot.
Yeah. That is good. How many crayons are in the box of crayons that you have?
I don't know.
More than 18? More than 12? Wow.
Yeah.
That is impressive. That is impressive. And then how early do you go to bed on Christmas Eve?
How early do I go to bed on Christmas Eve? 8? 7?
7 o'clock.
7:30, 8 o'clock.
Whoa. And then you just lay there till you go to sleep and you wake up and Christmas is here.
Yep.
Alrighty. Good deal. Now just tell me, Mommy's not listening. What is the gift you're getting for her this Christmas? Do you know? Don't whisper in my ear. Whisper into the microphone. She can't hear.
Can you hear?
No, see?
Can you hear?
Go ahead.
You can't hear?
Oh, whisper into the microphone and I'll be right here. Nice. What are they like? What color? Okay, good. Does she want slippers? Excellent. Good deal. Well, thank you for sharing with it, and thank you for talking to me.
You're welcome.
All right. Introduce yourself first.
Okay.
Alrighty, go right ahead.
Okay. Well, I'm Gwen Griffith,
Alrighty.
and I wanted to share a memory about my grandma. I lived with her, she and Granddad.
What was her name?
Mary Jane,
All right.
Mary Jane Music. And Grandma had an old red sweater, and it had holes in the elbows and so forth. And she had an old red hat. And we didn't really have presents under our tree unless an aunt or somebody like that brought them. But she played Santa Claus in her old red sweater and her old red hat. And she'd have some kind of old pillowcase or something and put apples and oranges and things like that in it. And we had such fun looking out the window. And she'd go all around the house saying, "Oh, oh, oh, Merry Christmas, Merry Christmas." And that was the way that she played it. Of course, we had nuts and fruit, orange and an apple.
Now, where was her house?
This was in Pennington Gap, Virginia.
Okay.
And other family members would come and visit at Christmas. But if we did get a present, maybe a week before from an aunt who would visit, we'd rip into it immediately. We never had presents under a tree. Somebody had a present for us that it was ripped into, and
When they arrived.
but we did have lots of fun and singing and
Sure.
lots of fried chicken.
Oh, did you all do chicken and dumplings? Or was it all
yes,
just fried?
of course. Chicken and dumplings.
Right. Della's family is from Pike County, kind of
Yeah.
close. And I didn't know that like the really good homemade chicken and dumplings.
Yes,
That was a Christmas thing.
Oh, yes.
Until going to that,
Yes.
with the home, they could have been biscuits, but they were cut
Yeah.
scored and that kind of thing. Those dumplings were pretty great.
Well, Grandma's dumplings weren't pretty, but they were delicious.
Oh,
so
right.
that was great.
Sure
It was.
enough.
I was lucky to get to be there.
Oh, sure. And you remember that? Like, how many years ago was that?
Oh gosh, well I'm almost 80, so been a long time.
Each of you share a Christmas memory. One of your favorite Christmas memories. Okay, go, Tom. Yeah.
One of my first and only Christmases away from home was in the year 1953. I spent that Christmas in Korea, and I was not very happy, of course. The war was over, and I was coming home shortly after Christmas, but I couldn't make it for Christmas. They flew me over to Korea, but I had to come back by ship, and it took 30 days to get from Incheon, Korea to San Francisco. That was one of my, not fondest memories, but it was one of my, shall we say, memories.
Did they hold off Christmas for you? Did you get anything Christmas once you came home?
The only thing I got home in Detroit was I had a new son. And he was, I've forgotten how many months old, but of course that was the first time I'd ever seen him. I think he was 5 or 6 months old. But that was quite a joy. I flew from San Francisco back to Detroit, and I was quite thrilled. It was right after Christmas.
Excellent, excellent. Okay, and introduce yourselves. I'm sorry.
I'm Tom McGlone, by the way.
All righty, and introduce yourself. You've got a microphone on your thing right there.
My name is Leonard Carlson, and unfortunately I'm a neighbor of Tom McGlone's. My memory, Tom sparked another memorable memory. Same year, 1953, I was, they said Eisenhower missed a putt, and I was drafted into the Army 7 days before Christmas.
Oh, wow.
Committee of my friends and neighbors informed me of that, and I vowed to get them one way or the other. We got down to Fort Leonard Wood, and of course everybody was gone because they were all home for Christmas, so it was kind of worthless. And Christmas Eve I had guard duty, and I was walking guard duty from about midnight to 4 a.m. And I don't know what there was to guard there. There was nothing much there. But we were guarding against marauders and the enemy, whatever they happened to be occupied at the time. And that's one memory Tom helped me remember, but I almost wish I could forget it.
All right. Well, thank you so much.
You're welcome.
All right, let me take this, and you can spin this away. Yep. Oh, it is not coming off.
Uh-oh.
You're stuck here all day.
Oh, my.
All right, thanks so much.
We done good.
Did we?
You're good. You're good. Okay, introduce yourself and share your Christmas memory.
My name is Jackie Burnside. I grew up in Alabama on a cotton farm. And one of the Christmas memories is how our family would have breakfast, and then we'd travel to visit relatives along the way around the countryside.
My name is Rachel Burnside, and I'm from Berea, Kentucky. And I guess a Christmas memory would be, I have such a bad memory, but the things I remember is going to Alabama to my mom's homestead and visiting my grandma and my Uncle Ricky. I think we'd go especially when I was younger, we would go every Christmas time. So I remember that.
Mm-hmm. And then here in Kentucky, if we were spending Christmas Day in Berea, Dad would make one of Rachel's favorite foods, which is French toast with fresh strawberries.
Yep, I remember that sometimes, yeah.
And how do you make your French toast?
Good question.
Is it different every year?
I wash the dishes, but the eggs and the spices, nutmeg, and I forgot what other spice.
Just like cinnamon, I think, for the most part.
And then use the iron skillet with butter to fry them in.
Oh, yeah.
Mm-hmm. Sprinkle
And is that a Christmas morning
Christmas
thing?
morning.
Yeah. I also remember I got a drum set for Christmas, like a small children's drum set that I really enjoyed playing Christmas morning. So that was fun.
Did you enjoy her playing the Christmas drum set?
Yeah, that was pretty good. One of the other Christmas memories, which Rachel's too young to remember, but my older sister Barbara, who lived in Nashville, kept a train set that her children had had, and she gave it to us after Rachel was born. So one of the things her dad would do Christmas Eve was lay out the train set underneath the Christmas tree, and then we would watch that train go around part of the day on Christmas Day.
Excellent. All right, well, thank you all for coming in and talking
you.
about it. Let me unhook you here. Well, introduce yourselves and tell us a Christmas memory.
Okay.
All righty. So what is your name?
Catherine Parker.
All righty. And your name?
Carol Parker.
All righty. And what is a Christmas memory from years ago?
Well, Bailey Alexander, our granddaughter, was at the house. She was 4.
Okay, and where's the house?
In Brevard, North Carolina.
Okay.
It was her father's house, and it had a balcony up over the living area.
All right.
And so Bailey told us we're going to have a Christmas
Story. Play.
Oh, okay.
So there's I don't know how many cousins and uncles and aunts there, but the only person in the audience was Kay's dad,
He was 89.
About 3 weeks before he actually passed.
Oh, really?
But our director, Bailey, 4 years old,
took
full charge, and she assigned the angels up on the balcony.
Okay.
And they had wings, and then everyone else had crinoline for hair.
Okay.
And towels around.
And you just had this laying around? You had wings laying around?
Well, they were makeshift wings.
Okay.
They weren't real wings.
All right.
But I've forgotten what she used for a cradle, but she had a cradle with Jesus. It said Jesus was Travis,
Was
their
their
pet
dog.
dog.
Oh, okay.
And I remember one time, one of the wise men didn't understand what his job was. She says, "You not know the story of Jesus and the cradle and the wise men coming?" And so he said, she directed the whole thing.
She had us crossing a creek, and she had us
At 4.
At age 4.
And, I guess it was the most memorable
It was.
Because how many people were there?
Probably 18 of us,
Oh, my
all
goodness.
from our family.
She told every one of us what to do.
Yeah.
Well, great. Thank you for sharing that story. Thank you. All right.
So these boys here want to be interviewed on the Facebook Live.
Alrighty.
That way.
Okay. So do you want to share a favorite Christmas memory or a tradition that your families have?
I'll do a tradition.
Okay, so a tradition.
I think I got a memory.
Okay, go ahead. So introduce yourself, but you can just use your first name, and the memory and the tradition, okay?
My name's Jonah Wooten, and my favorite Christmas tradition is waking up on Christmas morning and driving to my dad's parents, my grandparents' house in Paducah, Kentucky. And we did that
from here in Berea.
from here in Berea every Christmas morning.
When did you open your? Did you wake up to anything other than just the long drive?
We woke up and saw our presents, but then we had to leave them at home until we got back from Paducah. But it was still fun. That's just something we did for forever, as long as I can remember.
So like that was Christmas.
That was Christmas, yeah.
Okay, you're great. Thanks for sharing.
I think one of my better memories was from...
Wait, so there's bad ones?
Yeah, well, it's not a good one. It's just very memorable.
Okay.
About 2 or 3 years ago, my aunt lives in Tennessee, so we always go there after Christmas. But this year she had just moved, and it's a real small house, but there were a lot of us. So we were all packed in this house. There were way too many people. The house was way too small. And my uncle ended up going to sleep really early, and he was just snoring, and we were making fun of him while he was snoring. And our little cousin, who's obsessed with America's Funniest Home Videos, we just get him to wake him up in the middle of the night and go like ask him a bunch of questions. He didn't know what was going on, but it was real funny.
And you did not introduce yourself.
I'm Brent.
Okay. Good. Thanks so much.
Thank you.
Alrighty. Hold this. Okay. About at your chin. Okay, but over to the side just a little bit. Like Hold that with your other hand. Okay.
Scooch over so we can see.
Alrighty. Let me get this where it's
Can you
not
hear
so
me?
bad. All right. So here are your choices. Okay.
I already know what I want to say.
You already know. Okay. Do you know what you want?
Well, give me your choices.
Okay. You can share a Christmas tradition.
Okay.
From like way back.
Right.
A new tradition.
Okay.
You particularly like a Christmas tip that'll make holidays easier.
Mm-hmm.
A Christmas recipe. A special Christmas memory. Like I said, something specific. Or a Christmas song, poem, or work of art.
Okay.
Okay. First things first is introduce yourself.
Okay.
We're representing the moms.
The moms of Berea.
The moms of. I'm Emily Ladouceur.
And I'm Robin Moreland.
Okay, what are you going to share?
Well, I have two things. One of my favorite things about Christmas is you all call it here in Kentucky apple stack cake. But where I grew up in western North Carolina, which is still Appalachia, but we called it fruit cake. And so back in the day, apparently, apple was called fruit. So say if you passed the fruit, they meant apple. So that's why it's apple stack cake. It's the same thing.
North Carolina? Where specifically?
Andrews is where I grew up.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, so, so the other thing is I'll share a recipe.
Oh, wow.
My granny's punch.
Okay.
Ginger ale, a can of frozen orange juice, 2-quart equivalent of Kool-Aid.
Like make Kool-Aid?
Like
any flavor?
Probably cherry's the best.
Okay.
Or strawberry.
That sounds from experience. You're sharing experience.
Yes. And 1 can of pineapple juice. Mix it all together, and then scoop lime sherbet.
Always has to have
top.
sherbet, doesn't it?
So that'll be my share.
Yeah, that's a good share. Yeah. So I'm going to get a little bit more sentimental because I do that a lot.
Make me cry.
Well, lime sherbet's pretty sentimental, but I am going to get a little bit more sentimental. So one of the questions was some traditions or some favorite gifts. So I'm going to throw all of those things kind of into one answer, and I'm going to try not to take too long. But we grew up right here in Berea. My great-grandparents came here from the mountains. My great-grandfather, right, so they traveled a lot through Leslie County, Breathitt County, Clay County, that kind of area until they finally settled here so the children could have a better life. They wanted them to be able to go to college and things like that. So that's kind of how we all got here. Well, we also, the whole time I was growing up, all of our families still lived like right here together along 1016. And so Friday nights and Saturday nights were probably just like Christmas. There was always, family members around. But any Friday night, yeah. It was always, right. And so I remember on Christmas Eve, we would all go to my grandparents' house. And
where was it?
On 1016, on Highway 1016. We'd all meet up there and everybody would have a good time. Well, I guess when it was time for us to go home, the kids never really wanted to go home. So my grandpa, Shug Isaacs, those in Berea know Shug, knew Shug, but he would decide that he could hear Santa outside.
Oh.
So he would go outside and look at the sky, and he would shoot Santa down with a shotgun.
Where's the sentimental piece? I'm waiting for it.
So after Chug would shoot Santa down, all us kids would take off running to the car because we knew it was time to get home
how they got
and
you
get
home.
in the bed, because if he had started bringing the gifts and before we were in the bed, we wouldn't get any. So we had to run home because he'd get shot down and he would drop all the gifts up and down 1016. So, yeah. So that's like one of my funny Christmas
awesome.
stories. So, yeah. So, do you have time for me to tell one more sentimental?
Of course.
Would anybody listen to it? So, for several years after my mom and dad were divorced, we lived in a small apartment actually right behind Little Caesars. And Mom was a school teacher at Madison Central and was raising us two little girls by herself. And I think times were kind of difficult, right, for a long time. Well, my sister and I loved Barbie dolls more than like we could breathe, right? We loved Barbie dolls.
Is there a shotgun involved?
There's no shotgun involved in this story.
Shotgun.
So, yes. So Mom knew that we wanted the Barbie Dream House for Christmas. This would have been...
I remember the Barbie Dream House.
So it was an A-frame house, and, so this would have been probably 1982, maybe, 81, 82. And so every day after... Mom taught at Madison Central. Every day after school, she would drive over to Rose's, and she would watch.
Now, where was Rose's?
Rose's was in Richmond.
Okay.
It was a department store, and she would drive over to Rose's, and she would check the prices of the Barbie Dream House. And she never had enough money to buy the Barbie Dream House, but she knew the closer to Christmas, they would put them on sale.
Right.
So on Christmas Eve, she drives to Rose's, and they are all gone. There are no more Barbie Dream Houses left. And she was heartbroken, and she was like, oh my gosh, what am I going to do? This is all my little girls want, is this Barbie Dream House. Well, she sees one, the display model, up on top of the shelf. And she's standing in the aisle, and she's distraught and sad. And the employee comes over and says, what's going on? She said, I really want this Barbie Dream House. And he says, I'll sell that one to you.
Aww.
So he sold her that Barbie
right? 'Cause it's
Dream
display.
House for cheaper. And that was the gift that her little girls got for Christmas that year. And we played with that Barbie Dream House forever and ever. Well, obviously we got older and we didn't need Barbie Dream House as much. So now the Barbie Dream House has gone from little girl cousins to some of our church family. I think the last little girl in our church to have it was Samantha Sadendrowski. And she has played with the Barbie Dream House. And unfortunately, I have a household full of little boys and we don't have Barbies. But that was my favorite.
That was a good story.
Gift. So. And there was absolutely nobody who shot down the Barbie Dream House, so it was good.
You wanted the Barbie Dream House? I wanted the Barbie Cadillac. And I got it, but I got it in purple, and I was really upset because I wanted the pink one.
Oh, well, purple Cadillac's pretty cool.
Yeah.
So real quick on the apple stack cake.
Yes.
I will tell you, it is called, its official name is the Kentucky Apple Stack Cake.
Oh.
That is like, it's originated Kentucky Apple Stack Cake. Must be.
She went and Googled.
This is back in frontier days.
Stop
and
right
it
now.
came about because when you would go to weddings,
Wow.
they would not.
So it traveled down to where I am.
So I don't know.
Well,
When
at
they
some
go to weddings,
point-
they would bring. All they would bring is that one little. Everybody would bring a
layer of it, yeah.
And then they would layer on the apple. We used apple butter. Layer on the apple butter and let it sit, and then that would create your wedding cake.
Oh, how neat.
So if anyone has apple stack cake, I would like some.
I would
because
too,
it's
because I've
hard to
never had
make.
any.
It's hard to make. It's time consuming.
Layer.
All the layers.
I've
and it's
never
really
had any
thin.
before.
You've never had it? Oh my goodness.
Okay.
Okay, we're going to change
absolutely.
out.
They must want in it. Okay.
Thanks, y'all.
All right, yes, definitely. All right, let me take this. You want there? Max, come over.
Max, you want to come tell a Christmas
Hi.
Hey.
Listen,
sit down with
you can't be silly after.
Okay, you can. All right, sit down there if you would. So one, tell me your first names, please.
Charlie.
Alrighty, and what is your
Max.
name? Max, hold it up to your chin. Put that to your chin.
Max.
Max. Okay, good deal. What are you drinking right now?
What am I doing? Punch.
Okay. Now, tell me a Christmas memory that you have. Do you have a memory of a Christmas time?
No.
Not at all. Tell me what you got as a gift last Christmas. Nothing?
Underwear.
A computer?
Underwear.
Oh, underwear. You got underwear last Christmas? That's great. Well, Max, what did you get for Christmas last year?
Thinking. Answering. Yeah, I know. There. A turtle and Spider-Man.
Well, what do you want this year? What is the gift that you want this year?
A PC.
A whole computer?
There's a keyboard and a mouse.
And about awesome.
Underwear.
You want underwear again? I hope you get your dreams come true. I hope all your Christmas dreams come true. Alrighty, thanks so much. Let me take the microphone back.
I can't wait to get you underwear for Christmas.
Now, just tell us the story.
Well, I have 3 quick things that come to mind when I think of Christmas. When I was very young, our family met with my mother's parents and all the siblings and grandchildren.
Where was this in the world?
This was in Gorham, New York, central New York State. We would meet on Christmas Eve, and I always jumped around and said, oh, I hope it snows so much everybody has to spend the night.
Okay.
But we never did.
How many people were in the house?
Oh, probably 20. And I'm sure my grandmother was happy they all went home, but
Glad to see them come?
yeah, glad to see them, yes. And another memory is my father was a twin born on Christmas Eve. And we always got together with a family of friends on Christmas Eve and celebrated his birthday and shared Christmas also, which means we must have gone to my grandmother some other time. We couldn't do two. Yeah, I'm just thinking, this was like 75 years ago, so it's a while. And the other one is, when I was about 4 or 5, I got a teddy bear, and I loved him and wore a lot of stuff off. I've never seen one like him. And my son has him now, and he's in the lockbox in the bank, so nobody can steal him.
Be in a safe deposit.
He is in. Yes, he is small, and he is in a safe deposit box. So I don't know that the next generation even knows about him, but he's safe for eternity.
All righty. Well, all right. Thank you so much, Miss Ellie.
Yes.
Well, Della, this was an exceptional opportunity, wasn't it?
I loved it. I loved being I would go and find the people and ask them to come share their stories. I loved that, and
right.
hearing all their stories. It was great.
Now, it was interesting. More than once, people talked about that apples and oranges were their gifts at Christmas, and they were excited about it being in their socks and stockings and stuff. That was pretty special to hear.
Yeah. And I love when people reach back to those very early childhood memories. You know, when Christmas was so magical at that age. That's lovely to hear.
It is. And the video on Facebook on the First Christian Church Berea's, you could see their eyes. You could see it sparkling as they talked about making the French toast and all that. That was pretty nice as well, to experience it with them.
Yeah.
I don't know. So thanks for the opportunity, and thanks for listening.
And thanks, First Christian Church of Berea. You're a lovely home church.
Absolutely. Until next week.
Bye.